Dear human being, beloved soul, I welcome you to my podcast series, Conversations with the Universe. After a near-death experience, my perception of our human existence changed profoundly. I became more sensitive, with all our known senses. I feel more intensely, see people with different eyes, and often take a different perspective on life and our challenges. In my books, I share these altered perspectives and all the knowledge that has flowed through me since my near death and thus record it. For all those who are searching for something more, for the meaning of our existence here on Mother Earth. And it is now a great pleasure for me to share this knowledge with you in this way as a supplement to my books. This season I am dedicating myself to my very first work, The Basics of Being. I wish you many wonderful insights on your path. Thank you. Love.
We have discussed the basics of existence and now turn to the journey of the soul. I have dedicated all my other books to this topic as well and would like to encourage you to take a look at them as well. In particular, Volume 5 of the Initiation series, entitled Initiation into the Cartography of the Subtle Worlds, deals with this topic in great depth. You can also find the information here as a podcast season. Let's start with the introduction before we go deeper in the next episodes. As you know, all energy moves out of the center and back to it. This movement creates the different energy zones and within them the different forms. With our human mind, it is very difficult to really imagine this energetic process because we always think in terms of space. A first decisive impulse for the mobility of your consciousness is to completely switch off all your previous spatial thinking. When I talk about levels, spaces, and places here, it is only to make you better understand a construct that in principle has no spatiality at all, but is all-pervasive. During this process, the spiraling energy experiences different states, but it is always one and the same energy. The center, the so-called source, is therefore eternal and permeates everything that exists. It is not located in a place somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but is always and everywhere, because it is the cause of all matter. Therefore, all matter is ultimately the source, but another form of expression. From the source, the energies decelerate, and on their way back they accelerate again. And since all energy also has consciousness, the energies also experience a slowing down and an acceleration in their consciousness. The principle of cosmos is the law of correspondence. Therefore, we can find corresponding images that make this law easier for us to understand. Take our solar system, for example. At its core is our sun. Similar to the source, it radiates its power and light to all planets, no matter how far away they may be. At the outermost edge of this construct, the sun's energy is weaker, and the planets in the outer orbits are colder and slower. And the same applies to the subtle, but without spatiality. The further the energies move away from the source, the less power they have. The energies are firmly embedded in heavy, slow, and low-vibrating forms of the organism. The speed of the energies is many times slower than in the source, so the consciousness of the energy is also greatly decelerated and immobile. But despite the contamination that the dense matter brings with it, the energy still has its free will. These circumstances offer a variety of possibilities for the energies and their consciousness to unfold. Thus, the source, the center, the cause, the goal, and at the same time the drive of all being. It works through all being as the eternal umbilical cord of life, but at the same time it creates it. Since everything, that is all matter, has its cause in the center of the spiral, I would like to differentiate briefly for a better understanding. The energy zones around the center consist of an infinity of frequencies. They are a sea of frequencies. Up to a certain frequency range, we perceive expressions of energies with our physical senses. However, the majority of frequencies, areas, cannot be perceived by these senses, but they always exist at the same time. There are many terms for these materialities. Some call it the divine matrix, others the quantum field, and still others the 0-point field. Some quantum physicists refer to this subtle cosmos as hyperspace. I find this term somewhat confusing since it could imply that it has a spatiality that it does not have. Nevertheless, as humans we think in spaces, so I will use this description from time to time. In fact, however, the subtle energy zones are exclusively spaces of consciousness that always have a permeating effect. The impulse of separation is the fall from the paradisiacal state of unity. Movement is the result of the tension between unity and separation. Matter arises from movement. From a physical point of view, every alleged space in the subtle worlds consists of other frequency ranges and their vibrations. The higher frequencies can perceive the lower frequency ranges, but not the lower ones, the higher ones. Souls do not live on earth, only parts of them. So you are such a part of a soul. The actual soul, your mother soul, is close to the frequency range of the source. It therefore vibrates very high and fine. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to exchanging ideas with you at Spine. Carpe Vitam. Thank you very much for listening, and I would like to remind you to join our community Spine. We are a community that wants to help you live a healthier life, practice your spirituality, and expand your consciousness. We help you find and connect with healers around the world, and we help you give your life a new meaning in different ways. We are Spine, connections that help.